my distinguished colleague, my brother JJ from the Supreme Court of India, Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal ji, Honourable Union Minister of State for Law and Justice, very distinguished Chief Justices and Judges from our neighbouring countries, representing the jurisdictions of Nepal, Bhutan, Malaysia, Kenya, Sri Lanka and Mauritius, Shri Tushar Mehta, Learned Solicitor General of India, my sister Jasmindu Malhotra, former Judge of the Supreme Court of India, Mr. Senior Advocate and President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, Senior Advocate and Vice President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Pragya Baghel, Secretary of the Supreme Court Bar Association, members of the Executive Committee of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. Nipin Nair, President of the SCORA, Supreme Court Advocates on the Court Association, Mr. Amit Sharma, Vice President, and Mr. Nikhil Jain, Secretary of the Association, Senior Advocates and members of the Supreme Court Bar, Secretary General, Registrars and other officers of the establishment of the Supreme Court. We also have among us the registrars and some senior officers of the visiting nations who are also present in this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from media, a very good morning to all of you. It is a genuine pleasure to be here today, and what makes it especially meaningful is that this is my first public address, as pointed out by Honourable Law Minister and Mr. Tushar Mehta both, since having taken oath as Chief Justice of India. Truth be told, I could not have imagined a more fitting and exhilarating occasion than the Constitution Day for this milestone, a day when we celebrate the pivotal moment when the people of India gifted unto themselves its most fundamental covenant. As I stand before you today, I must emphasize that the bar occupies an indispensable place in fortifying the rule of law and upholding the sanctity of our Constitution. Today, since I will be speaking in the afternoon event being organized by the Supreme Court, I thought that in the morning session I will confine myself to the role and the contribution made by the Supreme Court and other bar associations and our distinguished members of the bar from time to time. And in that context, I do not hesitate in saying that if the courts are regarded as the sentinel of the Constitution, then the members of the bar are the torch bearers who illuminate our path as we discharge the solemn duty with clarity and conviction. When we are called upon to pronounce on the constitutionality of a provision or to expand the ambit of another, it is the range of perspectives, the depth of readings, and the wealth of precedent that bar brings before us to marshal our understanding. Your scholarship allows us to approach each question with a more holistic vision, forming the very bedrock which constitutional jurisprudence steadily evolves. I believe that in this context, the Supreme Court Bar Association's own website offers a particular fitting line, one that I am certain you all have come across but just to refresh your memory, I am quoting what your website says. It says, and I quote, "From its very inception, the Supreme Court Bar Association has been the vanguard of the movement for upholding, maintaining, and consolidation of the constitutional values of democracy, rule of law, and the independence of the judiciary." Undoubtedly, across the many decades since the Constitution's inception, the judiciary has repeatedly acknowledged the indubitable role of the bar in safeguarding its virtues. One needs only to recall the evolution of the basic structure doctrine, shaped in no small measures by the erudition of Nani Palkiwala, a senior advocate and eminent jurist of this country, whose advocacy left an indelible imprint on constitutional adjudication. Legal behemoths such as M.C.C. Triward, with arguments of remarkable lucidity and salubrious depth, contributed to judicial transformation in the ways that continue to resonate. Even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, K.M. Munshi, Aladhi Krishna Swami Iyer, the principal architects of our constitution, stood at one time as members of the bar. Our legal history is replete with such stalwarts, advocates whose intellect, integrity, and persuasion have guided the trajectory of our constitutional jurisprudence and indeed the direction of the nation itself. Of course, our work and yours is far from complete, and we must all continue the journey begun decades ago. The bar in particular must shoulder an even deeper sense of responsibility. Constitutional adjudication cannot be seen merely through the lens of adversarial litigation, for its implications extend far beyond individual disputes. They shape the course of the nation itself. When I often speak about the invisible victims of the judicial system, it is my sincere belief that only bar can rescue them from such agony. Your perspectives matter profoundly, and the seriousness with which you engage in your craft directly influences the transmogrification of our constitutional future. In addition to assisting us in constitutional matters, it is equally vital that the bar collectively takes purposeful strides towards espousing the letter and spirit of our fundamental document. This includes providing legal aid to those who are vulnerable or living at the margins of the society, as well as aligning on oneself with the vision embodied in the directive principles of the state policy. Such commitments matter because when members of the legal fraternity undertake these obligations, they create a ripple effect, fostering genuine change within their communities and reinforcing institutional value in everyday life. As individuals with a deeper understanding of the Constitution's true import, you are uniquely positioned to serve as model citizens, both personally and professionally, embodying the very ideals our founding document seeks to instill. I would especially urge the younger advocates among us to take up this mantle. Each of you is immensely capable, brimming with potential, and acutely aware of the duties that accompany this profession. As I draw my address to close, I wish to impress upon all of you that the Constitution entrusts its guardianship not to one institution alone, but to a consortium of minds and consciences. And in that consortium, the bar and the bench